Cold Comfort Farm by Stella Gibbons, Chapter 17. The next day was Sunday, so thank goodness everybody could stay in bed and get over the shocks of the night before. At least that is what most families would have done. But the Starkadders were not like most families. Life burned in them with a fiercer edge, and by 7 o'clock most of them were up, and to a certain extent doing. Reuben, of course, had much to do because of Amos's sudden departure. He now thought of himself as master of the farm, and a slow tide of satisfied earth-lust indolently ebbed and flowed in his veins as he began his daily task of counting the chickens' feathers. Prue, Susan, Letty, Phoebe, and Jane had been escorted back to Howling by Adam at 5:30 that morning, and he had returned just in time to begin the milking. He was still bewildered by the fact of Elfine's betrothal. The sound of old wedding bells danced between the tufts of hair in his withered ears, and catches of country rhymes, sung before George the Fourth was born. "Come roo, come so maid is mungo," he sang over and over to himself as he milked feckless. He saw, yet did not see, that Amos had lost another hoof. The dawn widened into an exquisite spring day. Soft, wool-like puffs of sound came from the thrushes' throats in the trees. The uneasy year, tortured by its spring of adolescence, broke into bud spots in hedge, copse, spinney, and byre. Judith sat in the kitchen, looking out with leaden eyes across the disturbed expanse of the teeming countryside. Her face was gray. Rennet huddled by the fire, stirring some rather nasty jam she had suddenly thought she would make. She had decided to stay behind when the other female Starkadders had gone off with Adam. Her flayed soul shrank obliquely from their unspoken pity. So noon came and passed. A rude meal was prepared by Adam and eaten, some of it, by the rest in the great kitchen. Old Ada Doom kept to her room, whence she had been carried at 6 o'clock that morning by Micah, Seth, Mark, Dolar, Caraway, and Harkaway. None dared go into her. She sat alone, a huddled, vast ruin of flesh, staring unseemingly out between her wrinkled lids. Her fingers picked endlessly at the Milk Producer's Weekly Bulletin and Cowkeeper's Guide. She did not think or see the sharp blue air of spring. The sharp blue air of spring thundered silently on the window panes, fogged by her slow, batrack-chain breath. Powerless waves of fury coursed over her inert body. Sometimes names burst from her green lips. Amos, Elfine, Urk. Sometimes they just stayed inside. No one had seen anything of Urk since he had last gone galloping out into the night carrying Miriam, the hired girl. It was generally assumed that he had drowned her and then himself. Who cared anyway? And we'll pause there.